and welcome to Studio
Set
Stage, a weekly podcast with us, Cynthia Mallard
and Mark Dean, where we take you from the studio to the set to the stage
in the world of entertainment.
Hello, Studio Set Stage. I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Mark Dean.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back in the spot. Another week of great Studio Set Stage.
Yes, indeed, man. It has been an eventful week, but hey, we are here, and we are glad that you are here.
Mm-hmm. Lots of things happening.
Yes.
I know that last week we talked about like setbacks, drawbacks, kind of that, disappointments and things like that. So I just want to say thank you to you guys who reached out to us and actually told us that you absolutely loved what we were talking about.
Yes, indeed. We definitely appreciate all of the feedback, all of the responses.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, some of it definitely moved me and moved you. And so we just want to say continue, stay the course.
I'll be honest with you. I cried a little bit. Like some of the DMs we got, if you guys follow us, like I said, we are on all social media platforms at Studio Set Stage. But some of the DMs I got specifically, I was like, most times people just want to know that somebody is going through the same frustrations that they're going through.
Yes, indeed. And, you're not alone in this thing. I mean, it's definitely not for the faint. You have to continue. It is a process. Like I said before, there are no rules, but there is a process.
It is. I had, I think about this week, I have had several auditions, and I'll just be honest with you. I don't think they were like really that bad on that side of the Studio Set Stage. They weren't bad, but they weren't good enough. It wasn't a strong enough decision. So, I'm okay. I'm grown enough. I'm mature enough to actually say, you know what? I didn't choose a strong enough position, which is why, I didn't book that particular job or whatever. So you have to be mature and grown and just know where you did great and know where you're effed up, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Remember, I think we spoke about, SWOT analysis. Identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats, capitalizing on your strengths. You also have to be aware of your weaknesses, because once you either, focus in on strengthening those areas, you get better. Yeah. And, like they say, like the old folks used to say, practice makes perfect. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. And it comes down to that. So, to everyone that definitely shout out and shout us out on
specifically
on the last
we want to say hello and shout out to Nina. Yes. Hey Nina, we hear you. Got your DM, and like I said, a lot of people are private, very private, especially when it comes to this. A lot of people we don't want to talk about how bad we've done or whatever. But I just want to say that I know this episode of Studio Set Stage, we want to address change, right?
Yes. Change.
And I just want to say, Nina, things will get better. For those of you who don't know what the comment was, Nina's been on her knees, praying, crying, trying to make this thing work. Right. She's missed rent payments, it's just been a struggle for her, as it is for all of us in Studio Set Stage. Exactly. To keep the lights on by doing this business, whether it's music, acting, whatever it is, media. These are careers that are saturated.
Oh yeah, very much.
We talk about that all the time.
Oh yeah. A colleague of mine made a post earlier this week, basically stating that, there might be thousands of rappers that's trying to do the ssame thing.
Oh, yeah.
And what is going to separate you from that bunch? And he said, you have to do the work.
You do.
And it comes down to, your work ethic and making sure that, there's no substitute, understanding there's no substitute for the work. But also, you have to stay encouraged. You have to stay strong. Because again, like I said, this is a journey. It will be a journey filled with highs and lows, and you have to be able to endure the lows, because on the other side of that,
oh my God,
you definitely will get to your goal.
Let me tell you something, Nina. She just kind of like pulled my heartstrings because I totally could relate to her. Again, she had like observed, I guess, people around her not doing the work or whatever, but they were always in, I guess, the boss's face or the person who has the project. Like they're, bringing coffees and, they're doing all these, extracurricular things. But she's actually doing the work. And let me tell you what I told her. I said, you know what? Yeah. A lot of times I've seen it I'm sure you have too. In media, I've seen it in acting. I've seen it in music. Any of these creative positions. Yeah. There are some people who do. They do get on. They do get the projects because they're bringing coffee. I mean, it's just one of those things,
Yeah.
Or because they went to dinner with someone. Then the next day, they're the hottest producer. It does work like that. This is just, it's non-traditional.
Yeah, it is. It's non-traditional. It's unorthodox. And a lot of that can be,
disheartening.
It can be disheartening. And you can also, some might say, well, from another, you turn it on another side, they might say, hey, that was part of paying dues.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Those that started out in the mailroom, saying, well, man, I spent all these hours in the mailroom sifting through.
I deserve to be the CEO.
Stuff,
Yeah.
I paid my dues.
The work they went out.
And that's part of the journey,
so
too.
So you can't hate.
Yeah, you can't hate on that.
Right.
You definitely can't
There's
hate.
different journeys, different paths.
Yes, indeed. It's definitely different journeys, There's not one set path to get to that end goal. And, but you have to maintain, consistency.
Yeah.
And you have to be patiently consistent.
Like we were saying, talking about the change or whatever.
Yes,
and
indeed.
we're using Nina, and she said it was okay to use her. So don't be bashing us, getting on Studio Set stage like, why are you putting that lady's business out there? No, I'm not putting that.
Put me on Front Street.
Right. She is a
Right.
loyal fan and contacts us weekly because she totally believes in Studio Set stage, and she totally is trying her best to live the life such as we are, your talent will make room for you. Let's just go ahead and say, we're talking about change, whatever, but your talent, your divine skills will make room for you.
Yes.
Now, I didn't say it's going to make, huge room, like, the size of a football field.
Well,
but
now it could. It really could.
But what I'm saying is every little bit helps.
Yes.
Every little pinky toe in the door helps.
And that's what it is. I mean, you have to do what's doable.
Yeah.
Even though hey, I want to be CEO and I want to, these are my goals. I want to be a mogul. I want to have a label.
I think everybody wants,
And I meet a lot of people that I come across a lot of people with that. I have goals that I am in the process of achieving and want to achieve as we speak. But
you're still living.
You're still living, and that's part of it. And that's where you have to understand, why change is so critical, especially
adapting. You mean adapting?
Well,
to
change,
right?
Yeah. Well,
because things are going to change inevitably.
Right, and what I was saying was basically like change is a constant in life. I mean, you start changing from the moment that you're born.
Right.
And that's an ongoing process. And sometimes, just in life, we're just going through the motions. We don't even understand or we're not even able to recognize the change when it occurs.
Oh my gosh.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
So,
yes.
But like you said, to understand, okay, well, I'm in the midst of this transition. And to, even though you have to, okay, I have certain responsibilities, I have this, that, and the third I have to do, I have to deal with, but it's understanding, okay, I'm at that point of transition, and I have to.
And you have to accept it.
Yeah,
you have to accept it.
Right.
I think I've seen, like in my careers on my side, I've seen when things like change or whatever, I've seen those people who could not adapt.
Yes.
And they were left behind.
Right. And
they were negative as hell.
Yeah.
And they were left back in the negative hell that they created,
Yeah. And that's one thing. You have to adapt. You know, currently, especially in music, if we just talk literally just talking about the industry, which we normally do on Studio Set Stage.
Yeah.
But, you know, every 60 to 90 days, there is a major change in the industry. Yeah. There is a major transition. You know, I've stated before, the music industry, out of all the industries in entertainment, has been the most disrupted. Meaning it has changed. Oh, you know, like 10 years ago, it's night and day. Okay. You know, but life brings a series of changes too. But that also helps to construct the journey. You know,
I remember working. Right. I remember working for a station, long time. I won't, you know, of course, I won't indicate what station because I've worked at several of them here in Atlanta and other places too.
No doubt.
So I remember when things were changing at a particular radio station that I was at, and I was tasked with making the change, making some of those changes, and making people fit into those changes, right? And I was met with like so much opposition, in a particular thing that we were trying to accomplish, without me going too deep, because I already know y'all Studio Set Stages, y'all out there, and y'all know all my business, and you know we travel. It's a small circle, right? Right.
It was W something.
Yeah. It's a small circle in this business, but I remember literally guys like being like cussed out to my face, no, not like, oh, I'm gonna tongue in cheek you. No. It was like F you, F this, F that. Now, this is in a professional setting, a corporate setting, a station, and this person literally was going in on me.
Right. And normally that is
because he could not adapt to the changes that were happening. Now, I know a lot of you okay, so what you do? What was your response? You know, I held my composure. I held my composure and then thought about your talents, your gifts will make room for you. So in that change, I witnessed that my talents and my gifts made room for me. You know, and then, you know, I won, you know, because, I mean, y'all really want to know who won. I won. Right. Of course I'm going to say that.
In addition to the bottle over the head. No, I'm just kidding.
No. It never escalated to that. Like I said, I'm a classy lady. I don't get down like that. Right. But I probably can't. But I wouldn't.
Don't write a check yo can't cash. Right. Well, you heard it here first. Yeah. But like you said, Cynthia, I definitely agree with you. But yes, in change, one of those byproducts of that, you're going to be faced with opposition, especially with those that cannot, you know, or don't understand, you know, the change that's occurring.
They're stuck in their ways.
And they're stuck, you know. I recently was reading a very great article which kind of expanded on just the concept of change, and it talked about the 3 stages of change. And the 3 stages, they were unfreezing, changing, and then refreezing. And the first step, I can relate to that because I remember in one position that was with a multimedia company. Like I said, the names have been changed to protect.
Protect the
and you know
guilty.
Right. Exactly.
I was saying exactly, but the guilty.
The guilty. Yeah. These, but anyway, but like I said, you know, in that we had to understand, you know, the rapid changes that were occurring within the technology and how technology plays a major role in changes that are, you know, that are occurring right now within the industry. And, you know, there was a learning curve. A lot of methods that, you know, we were dealing with, and a lot of things, the way things were being handled, technology was changing that. And, you know, I think technology remains to change.
Yeah. It's continuing.
It's continuous. Yeah. It's a continuous thing. And so
rapidly,
there was a lot of people that was, you know, saying we need to have some come to Jesus meetings and all of this, that, and the third, and I don't really understand this, and this is moving too fast for me. But you have to understand, you have to be like time. You know, time doesn't stop. It doesn't stand still. It keeps moving forward.
And if you can't get with it, then you get out the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't get with, what's popping in the kitchen,
well, you know what they say,
out.
if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen.
Exactly, because it ain't nothing but heat. And studio set stages, for us living this life, it ain't nothing but heat. Like you go to bed with the heat, you wake up with the heat, you go through the entire day. I think about there are professions out there that are very calm, they're not volatile, they're very secure. And I think that's great.
Right.
Nothing is wrong with that. Like I said, everybody has their own journey, their own path. But if this is where you have been charged with making your living and changing other people's lives, you got to be okay with what's happening. You got to be okay with what comes with it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you got to be all right with it.
Yeah, you have to take the bitter with the sweet.
You do. You
definitely have to take the bitter with the sweet, and like I said before, it's not for the faint. But one thing that's certain in this is change. But in life, one thing that's certain is change.
It is. It's amazing how many people don't know that, though. And that's why we're talking about, like I say, if you're just joining us, Studio Set Stage, I'm Cynthia Mallard here with Mark Dean, and we're just talking about change in the Studio Set Stage life. I mean, it is tough. It is hard. It's not easy.
No, it's not. It is not easy, but it is not impossible.
Right.
It's not impossible.
Right.
You have to accept that change is inevitable. It will come. But it's how you deal with it and being able to adjust. You have to be able to adjust.
Well, people say, we're talking about, you said, just like what you said, how you deal with it. And, my approach has always been, especially even more now, is approaching it with positivity. That's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. Like I was telling you about the story of Nina. But, when you're rejected, whatever it is that you're trying to do in this creative space and it's not working out, it's so easy to go to that place that you just want to cuss and that you just want to give up and that you just want to change and go to something that's less volatile.
Yeah, definitely.
So for me, I approach it with positivity. Well, in my life, we don't talk about really the personal. We always talk about the work. But I know just personally, Mark Dean, I have literally changed my mind, changed my soul. I've always been someone who is, centered on the universe or listened to the universe, listened to God. I meditated. But I think as I've gotten older, it's become stronger.
Yeah, and it's supposed to.
Yeah,
it's an evolution.
It is.
And like I said before, kind of unlearning those things that, at one point, this was my life. This is what revolved around, the center of my life, but that changes.
It does.
That changes.
It should change.
Right.
And if it doesn't,
it's supposed to change.
If it doesn't, it's something wrong, y'all.
Right.
I'm just going to be honest with you. We're singers, we are costumers, we are producers, we are engineers, we are media professionals.
Right.
But you should see yourself growing in your mind, the way you're thinking.
Exactly.
The way you approach things. And if you're not, and it's been, 20, 30 years, and you're not moving to a progressive place, you need to check yourself.
Yeah. It reminds me of a quote from the late, great champion, Muhammad Ali. He said, if I am thinking at 50 the way I was thinking when I was 20, I've wasted 30 years of my life.
Wow.
And
man. You better, what?
You have to you have to really take a hard look at that. The way you would approach, the way I would have approached certain things when I was in my teens and 20s is night and day now.
Yeah, it is.
Because I have evolved. And you're supposed to evolve, and it's through the mistakes that I have gained wisdom, especially in this. You're not going to always get it right, but, you have to keep trying.
Now, and for those of you who are thinking right now, oh, they're going into this religious side or some type of preachy. No, it's not that. We're just trying to tell you like how, which is why we probably jail, how we deal with the setbacks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How we deal with the change. And so far it's working out pretty good. So it's hard to change your mind. It is very hard.
Yes,
some
it
people,
is.
even in this studio set stage world, we have we have a work life. We all do, right? And then we have that personal side, right?
Right.
So we do great things and positive things when we talk about our work. But then when it comes to our personal side, we like down in the gutter.
Right. And you have to have a balance.
You do.
You have to maintain a balance. It can't be, all work and your personal life is in shambles, because if your personal life is in shambles, it will spill over.
It will bleed
into
over.
Your professional.
You're right. You're so right.
And
we've
seen that on countless occasions, especially in this thing. So you have to have a balance. As a matter of fact, even if your professional life isn't quite going the way you want, you definitely have to have that balance in the personal.
You do.
Because if not, it's going to knock you on your act. It's going to knock you off your axis. It's going to knock you off course.
I heard, I don't know if it was it Will Smith or who, I'm sure it's plenty of pastors who preach this also, but I'm just thinking about Will Smith, but he was like, it's okay, it's okay to go to church or whatever, have your spiritual leader or whatever it is, but it's also okay to have your therapist too. Right. So maybe you're one of the people, one of the studio set stagers, maybe you need medication, to help you deal with what you're going through, to help you deal with the change that your mind is trying to grasp. I'm just being written. Now we ain't talking about like the marijuana.
Yes,
I wasn't talking about the marijuana.
We need to put this. I was about to say before we elaborated. Let's go into the disclaimer.
No, don't go out there saying, Cynthia Mallard of Studio Set Stage told me to go out here and get me some cocaine and go get me some marijuana and stuff like that. No, I did not say that.
We know in April they had 420, but we're not talking about that right now. No, seriously. We're talking about, definitely, and you're right. I think when it comes down to understanding that, the mind is your most powerful muscle.
Even in studio set stage, y'all, even in these creative spaces.
Right. And, with the mind, that's where the creativity starts. And you have to make sure that you have, a balance on that and understanding that, because if you have in terms of, and he talked about, because I think what it was the month before last, or I think they were talking about, it was mental health awareness. And that plays a huge role in actually dealing with change.
Shout out to Shanti Das, who has championed the Silence the Shame campaign.
Okay, yes.
To make people aware of mental illness, what you can do, being alone and just dealing with by yourself is unacceptable. You know, we have people, like I said, so many studio set stagers who take their own lives. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it because it's a hard situation. To talk about, especially with the high stress that we have in these creative spaces. If you're an artist, you draw, you do murals, you're an engineer, like we said, you're a media person, maybe you're an actor. These are high stress jobs. Because you every day you waking up trying to figure out, you're trying to compete. You're competing against yourself, but you're also competing with everybody else out there who wants that particular job to get that amount of money.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, it is what it is.
And it keeps going. It is a 25-8. Thing.
But like you said, mental illness is a big part, and you have to recognize it.
Yes,
you have to recognize the change and see how you're able to deal with the change and get help. If you feel like you can't deal with the change by yourself, then you have to get some kind of help.
Yes, you
whatever
do.
it is.
Yes, you do. I mean, and like you said before, you're not by yourself. And a lot of times the way you initiate that is being able to talk, communicate, engage, because there are others out there that's going through the same thing that you're going through or have gone through it. And, like I said, at Studio Set Stage, that's what we want to capitalize and really emphasize. Well, at Studio Set Stage, we want to emphasize the importance of taking care of yourself, especially in this, because this industry brings a lot of twists and turns, and
brings a whole bunch of monsters and devils and demons, and let's just be real. Let's just be real with it, right?
Yeah. So you gotta maintain.
I will tell you guys, like I said, we really do appreciate your support, and we are continuing. I know a lot of you, like I said, tune in every week. We really need you guys to follow us, to comment, like, share, download, and of course, most importantly, we need you guys to subscribe, okay?
Yes.
It doesn't take much to subscribe. You see the little button right there? Hit that button right there, boom. And it's done.
Yes. Go to our website, studiosetstage.com. That's studiosetstage.com.
Right. Check out our site. It's not open just yet. We are still collecting just the data from fans, from guys who support us. Just go there, studiosetstage.com, and put your email in.
Right. Go there. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just go on, put your email address, and hey, you're locked in.
We did want to also tell you that if you guys are interested and you're wanting like Mark Dean or me, Cynthia Mallard, to come in and come out, or maybe visit you and maybe talk about our careers, talk about what we're doing and how we're doing it. I always get so many questions, and I get invitations to go out and to speak to the kids,
Yes.
But we also speak and do workshops for adults, like bona fide workshops for adults. So
yes.
If you are in the need and you feel like we are appropriate and you feel like we have something to add to the value of your audience, we are more than willing to come out. I mean, together, of course, if you want Studio Set Stage, but if you want individuals, you want Mark Dean, he has a specialty in certain areas. I have a specialty in certain areas.
Yes, indeed. And, it's because we realize in Studio Set Stage, you normally see the end result, especially in the entertainment industry. So, there are certain fundamentals, certain things that you have to start and initiate to even start the process.
Right.
So
we just wanted to talk about change today.
Right.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk about the change today.
Yeah.
It was one thing, like I said, that we hadn't discussed. And many of our topics come, and it's like that in any radio or media, television. Most times your topics come from things that are happening with your audience, and these are things that are happening with fellow Studio Set Stagers, and it's our responsibility to address them.
Right. And be proactive in getting that out, because there are so many other mediums and in media where you just hear about the fluff, you hear about the success. Well, you hear about the success, and you hear about those things which are important, but you have to also understand that, hey man, it's work. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, and you have to be able to know how to, like you said, deal with change, go through it, make adjustments, and keep moving.
And rebound,
stay the course.
Baby, rebound.
You have to stay the course.
Rebound, because I will tell you, like today, y'all, when I say, if I actually told you just about the different opportunities that we have, just individually, that may spring up, that fall through, then other opportunities spring up, then they fall through. I mean, you live in the Studio Set stage life, so you already know.
Right.
Like, you can have something popping on Monday, then somebody change their mind on Monday night, then Tuesday it could be a whole nother situation. So
Yeah.
Of course, I love it. It's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But it does work on your mental strength.
Yeah, Cynthia, what a difference a day makes.
Man, what 30 minutes make?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
30 minutes makes a lot. It changes a lot because it's a half hour that we're talking to you, Studio Set Stages. So.
I'm telling you.
You ain't catch that, though. You didn't catch that.
Oh, you know.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
Guys, don't forget. Listen, you can hear us everywhere. We're on all podcast platforms.
Yes, follow us on iTunes. Well, listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play. And we'll probably be adding a couple of more platforms coming within the next week.
It's a slow process, guys. But like I said, we are building and trying to just continue. Like I said, we are no amateurs. Want to make sure you understand, like, we are not amateurs. We have been in the business for a long time, and we are here to uplift other people.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And we actually do this. We do this. This is we don't play.
We just don't sit and talk about it. We're like Monday through Sunday. A lot of people say, they're always waiting for like the weekend, right, to come. Oh, I can't wait till it's Friday. Let me tell you something. Especially you guys know this in the creative space. Like the weekend is we working. Like we working. We ain't looking forward to the weekend.
As I've always said, on my post, which my IG at Marq Dean Music. You've probably seen me make this post, and I'll say it. I've said it once. I'll say it 100 times. Yeah. The weekend is not the end of my week.
It's not.
Not in this thing. So, you got to be on. You've got to be on
every day.
24/7.
You do, and we're excited because we feel like we're given these gifts, all right, to really uplift people. So every day is exciting to get up and go to work. It's exciting every day to get up and work on a voiceover. It's exciting to get up and work on a communications workship. It's exciting, right?
It's exciting,
for you
man, to be in the studio. It's exciting to go to work and actually, teach and basically elaborate on the business. So these things are critical, and we just want to pass on, like I said, be proactive in making sure that you guys equip yourselves with the tools and resources that you need to be successful in Studio Set Stage.
Marq Dean, how can we contact you online?
Yes, reach me on all social media at Marq Dean Music. That's IG, Facebook. Twitter is Marq Dean, but everything else is Marq Dean Music, and also. What about?
Can you anyone send you like their music or anything like that for a critique? Now listen now. Can anybody send you their music and you critique it, or what's up?
I tell you what.
I didn't put you in the bad spot.
No, you let the cat out the bag.
Okay.
Because in June next month is Black Music Month.
Yes.
So we have a couple of things that will be in store. So definitely we'll
hash it out. We'll hash it out. Okay, well, cool. Well, you can reach me, Cynthia Mallard, all social platforms at Cynthia Mallard. Of course, I'm always on IG as Cynthia Mallard World. And of course, you can reach both of us at StudioSetStage.com. We love you so very much. And all of your accomplishments, success that happen from week to week, let us know about it.
Yes,
give
indeed.
us drop us a dime. We'll shout you out like we shouted out Nina.
Yes.
We love you, Nina.
Love
you so very much. And so until next time.
Yes, guys. Take care, and we love you guys. This has been Studio Set Stage.